Hello everybody, it's Peter the Rock. It may be my imagination. It's Friday the 10th of May. I'm on the south side of the viaduct, but I'm almost certain that in fact this segment is being lifted. You can see the yellow crane horizontal bit above the segment, and you can see the segment rising perhaps a few millimeters each second, or only even 1 millimeter, but it is being lifted, which is quite dramatic for several reasons. One is that, of course, if you lift something that heavy at one end of the crane, then you need to counterbalance it with something equally heavy at the other end of the crane, and that's possibly why the gantry cranes at the other end have been moving around. But look, it really is lifting now. It's significantly going upwards. It has to be very, very slow because it weighs an enormous weight, 100 tons, 140 tons. It's perhaps one of the biggest, if not the biggest segment I've ever seen moved. You can just see on the segment itself, let's see, get a bit closer. Where are we? You can just see up the sides of the segment little sort of gripping places, and I think they're used to actually slot in to its neighbouring segment, or to help slot in. And of course the obligatory holes through which steel rods will be inserted to tie the whole thing together. So let's go back to standard view, and it really has moved. That was a totally unexpected thing to happen. I'm so pleased I waited, because it's now 10 to 6 on a Friday. I can't believe they're going to do anything dramatic this late on, but it looks like they are. I mean, they're not going to leave it dangling there over the weekend. I imagine the next step will be to move it down the crane, down Dominique, towards its final resting place, which by my estimation is on this side of Pier 16. This is Pier 18 ahead of me now. That's 17 above which the segment is being lifted, and Pier 16 which is being added to each side. And yes, it is moving. It is moving, folks. It is moving down towards the front of Dominique, or towards London, as I used to call it. And oh, it stopped. No, it's going to. There's a fan there. I wonder if that's blowing. I wonder if that's to cool down the crane, because it's putting a lot of work in. It must be getting quite hot. Now it only seems to move when the chuntering goes on, or the chuntering only happens when it's moving. I think this is to alert people that things get out of the way. No warning lights. There's no sort of red lights or flashing or anything over the tannoy. Out of the way, here comes a segment of pier, stand aside. None of that, thankfully. But it's been lifted a good 6 feet up into the air, and has moved maybe 3 feet towards the front of Dominique. So if we just hang on here for a minute, just 4 minutes into this video, and see what happens next. I'm sure you'd be interested, and because I am. And also this side I did see some ducks, so perhaps they can sense that something is afoot, and it's going up again. You can just see the left hand edge of this segment and how it totally matches the foot of the back end of Dominique, and yet is still climbing, which is fantastic. Well, that is a real surprise. I didn't expect to see that sort of thing happening at 10 to 6 on a Friday, but it's amazing that they're lifting this massive lump of concrete, specially designed to fit to its neighbours, and brought here. I think it's sort of brought along on a vehicle or on wheels to this point along the viaduct from wherever it's made, which might well be a mile away, and then eventually it's picked up by the crane and shuffled down to its final resting place, connecting up the piers. And yes, it's now moving, I think, towards London so slowly. I don't really do speeded up videos because that would devalue the operation and reduce the excitement. But I'm not going to film the whole thing because it's going at a rate of, I would say 10 centimeters a minute, and maybe 20 centimeters a minute, and it's got about 25 meters to go, so that's about 25 minutes at least, and we don't want to watch that move for 25 minutes, but I will stay here. It's as I say, it's 10 to 6 or 5 to 6 now on a Friday evening, and there goes a segment. Thanks a lot for watching. It's fantastic that you've tuned in, viewers, at an exciting moment in the history of the HS2 viaducts crossing of the Grand Union Canal. Two massive engineering projects united by the place where they meet. Cheers. I hope to perhaps do another video in about 25 minutes time when it reaches its destination. Thanks a lot. Like and subscribe.